What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the Talking Sports podcast right here on YouTube, Apple Podcast, or Spotify, wherever you are watching us, wherever you guys are listening to us. We appreciate it. If you're on YouTube, drop a like, drop a comment. If you're on Apple Podcast, subscribe to the podcast, Spotify as well. And it is golf season. In my opinion, one of our favorite couple episodes we get to do, even though when we tell you guys, when we break this down, it's probably our least knowledgeable of the videos we do. So we'll do one for the Masters. We'll do one for the US Open, the PGA Championship, and the Open Championship. We'll do those four like we did last year. We did pick 2 out of the 4 winners last year.
Hot.
We started really hot. So technically, if you put like $10, $20 on those winning picks, you probably ended up plus money because based off of what that is. So we'll give you guys that. We'll talk about Tiger Woods. So we'll give you guys our winner. We'll talk about a little bit about Tiger in the beginning. We'll give you guys a guy that we think is going to finish in the top 5 and a guy that we think is going to finish in the top 10. But before we do that, Jared, how are you doing? And where can everyone follow us on social media and all of that fun stuff? And who are we sponsored by?
I'm doing swell, Pete. Please, we are on Instagram, Twitter, or X, and TikTok at Talking Sports PD. So please, if you haven't followed us yet, follow us on those platforms. Post a lot of short clips. Some things we get right too. So a lot of tweets. Pete's been cranking out tweets during the March Madness. So please follow us on X, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. I never know what to call it. X or Twitter.
X. It's X.
I know, but no one knows it as X. So
no one calls it X. Dude.
I'll just call it Twitter. At Talking Sports PD.
And we are always sponsored by Underdog Fantasy. Guys, go into the description or type in underdogfantasy.com. Use code TSB for a 100% deposit match up to $100. You can place a ton of great bets and pick'ems for the Masters this week. They give you a ton of options. They give you guys with stroke plays, how many birdies, a guy's going to bogey this amount, straight up winners. You can do a lot of fun things with that. So check that out. Use code TSB. Where were you going to pull out that swell? Like when did that come in your mind? I'm going to pull out the swell.
Popped in and
that was a very
with it. Yeah.
Very interesting choice. Okay. Getting into our content, we're going to touch on Tiger Woods. Obviously, anytime Tiger Woods participates in any major or any tournament that he plays in, he is a household name. Winning in the Masters in 2019 has been up and down recently, obviously, since that car accident. Hasn't really been able to withstand tournaments as of late. He's sitting around right now plus 100, minus 110 to make the cut wherever you get it. We're using ESPN Bet. Obviously, odds are subject to change, so don't get mad if we tell you these are the odds and it's a little less or a little more. If it's a little more, good for you, but if it's a little less, that sucks. Nothing we can do about that. But, JR, we can touch on this briefly here. Does Tiger wake up, and is he playing Saturday morning?
Yeah, I mean, last year was really fun to watch him. Did better than everyone kind of thought. And you could kind of look back, like you could do all the analysis you want, like, oh, he's only played, one tournament this year, but he did so last year. So like, that's not, I don't think, a factor. It's just, I guess, just his health. I would love to watch him make it. And it was super fun last year. I just think it kind of ends this year. I think his body's just kind of breaking down. And I don't want to sound like a hater, but because I wanted to see him like do well. But I just don't think it's going to happen this year. I think maybe he withdrew last year. He couldn't even finish last year. I hope he pushes through. I hope he, makes the cut. But I don't see it.
Yeah, I think it's less on Tiger Woods' probably actual golf game.
Yeah, it's just more his body.
Because you have to walk. Obviously, you have to walk Tuesday and Wednesday when you have to do practice rounds, right? Like you don't just show up on Thursday morning.
There's a lot of preparation too.
Yeah, you don't just show up on Thursday and you're playing the Masters. You're walking the course Tuesday and Wednesday, even Monday. Like all preparation goes into that, right? And I don't know if his body, and it hasn't recently been able to withstand. He's been have to pull out, and it's like his golf game hasn't been. I'm not saying spectacular. He's not pushing contention, but he's been able to make the cuts based on if he was able to stay healthy. So I think it's more of not his golf game if he can stay healthy. I'm going to say yes just to make it fun because why the hell not? But I really think it's a coin toss. And one other note, he's made 24 straight cuts at the Masters.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens there. It's an interesting storyline. The world of golf loves when Tiger Woods makes cuts.
Yeah, that is,
and loves when Tiger Woods is in contention. So we'll see what happens with him. He's a storyline to watch, but I think you and I both agree it's probably a flip of a coin. The bookmakers, the betting odds basically tell you it's kind of a coin flip at this point. And it's probably more relying on his health than his actual.
Yeah, I might just toss him on him just to root
the rooting interest.
Yeah,
another rooting interest.
Make it more fun.
Yeah.
But I'm not optimistic this year.
I would say the same thing. Okay, now we get into the goods. So we're going to start with this. We're going to start with a guy that we think is going to finish in top 10. We don't think he's going to win, but if he does win, we might still post it because we said he was going to play well. A guy we think that might finish top 10. We're going to go to top 5, and then we're going to go to first, and then we're going to give you our odds. These are courtesy of ESPN Bet. If they're going to subject to change, obviously you're seeing this on Wednesday into the weekend. These are going to change. So these were what are the odds we got right now. So Jay, I'm going to start with you. Who's a guy that you think is going to finish top 10 in the Masters?
Yeah, so kind of like Pete said, these subject to change odds wise, because after Wednesday, whoever we pick is just going to get hammered on. People are going to throw money on them. So,
sure. Our favorite.
My top 10 finish, I have Sahith Theegala, and I think he's even a possibility of top 5. I just playing it more safe. He finished 9th last year. His odds are currently to finish top 10 is plus 350. So I think there's good value there. I think he's ranked 15th in the world. And he's put some really good performances on this year. Like to start the year, he finished 2 in the Century. His last performance was probably one of his worst of the year, but he's had 1, 2, 3, 4 top 10 finishes this year. And just knowing that he finished 9th last year gives me, he knows the course. He did well in the course, really well. He finished top 10 last year. 2 top 10 finishes is tough to do. But it shows me that, he knows his way around the course and his game suits it enough, or at least at that time it did. And I just like the way he's been playing. So I'm going Sahith Theegala.
Hey, you said even top 5 he might be able to, and that's at plus 800.
Yeah, that was a little more like, I'm feeling him a little bit more. But
even if you don't think, maybe top 20, you still can get that at plus money at plus 125.
I actually took that too.
So if you're like, maybe not top 10,
yeah,
but yeah, 14, 15, 16, or whatever, you still can get him at plus money at top 20. I like that pick. You guys can tell when we talk about this, we're not going to go back and forth like we always do.
Yeah,
we keep it nice and short. But that's why we kind of love these episodes. We get on, we rip an episode, and we get it to you guys, and you guys enjoy it. Okay. So for my top 10 finisher guy, I think that's going to come in top 10. I'm going to go with Matt Fitzpatrick. He's currently sitting at plus 315 odds to go top 10, plus 110 to finish top 20, plus 700 to go top 5, but sitting at plus 315 to go top 10. He's coming off 2 top 10 finishes in his last 2 starts on tour. That was at the Players Championship and Valera Open, or Valera Texas Open. So he had back-to-back top 10 finishes. So he's playing some really good golf. He's in contention. He's battling on the final day. Hasn't been able to get over the hump, but it's been back-to-back top 10 finishes. Something I read today, he loves to hit the driver at the Masters. There's something about the Masters that he just loves to drive, and something about Matt Fitzpatrick that when he won the U.S. I think it was the U.S. Open, either the U.S. Open or the Open Championship. Jerry, you want to Google this for me? What has Matt Fitzpatrick won? I should know what he won. But when something that we came accustomed when he won, and he became kind of got onto the national spotlight, was the fact that he's a great putter, one of the best putters on tour. So if his driver works at the Masters and he's one of the best putters on tour and his short game is incredible, I feel like he's lining up for a really good week at the Masters. Did you find what he did?
U.S. Open.
Thank you. Okay, so when Matt Fitzpatrick won his U.S. Open a couple years ago, like I said, putter was great. His putting's been great. His approach game is always good. His driver's been a little inconsistent, but has performed well at the Masters with his driver. He's also gained over 3 strokes at the Valero Open with his approach shot. So his approach game is getting good, getting hot. And this not top 10 finishes, but his last 2 Masters, he's finished with 2 top 14 finishes. Yeah. So he's been right around that last 2 Masters, right? So he's been right around that top 10. So if you're like, Peter, I don't know if I love the top 10, you still can get him at top 20 at plus 110 odds, but I'm taking him to go top 10 at plus 315.
Yeah, 110 is good if you finish 2 years in a row top 20.
Yeah,
it feels like an auto hit, but you never know with the Masters.
Yeah, it's golf. You never know. Okay, JR, who's a guy that you think not going to win it? We're watching on Sunday into the evening, maybe a stroke, maybe 2 strokes back, has to make a final push, just doesn't get that final push on Sunday, or maybe even gets leapfrogged by someone else. Who's that guy that is going to miss out on the green jacket, walk away with a ton of money, and finish top 5?
Yeah, and this is, to me, pretty safe.
You just jinxed it.
You never know.
You just jinxed it, dude.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say a lock, and then I changed it to pretty safe. That's still kind of a jinx. But that is Jon Rahm, the winner of last year's Masters. I mean, his value to win it is still very good. I think it's like plus 1,200.
Third best odds to win it.
Yeah. However, back to back, very rare. Like, it's hard to do. So I'm taking top 5. He's incredible. He hasn't finished he's finished in top 10 in every live tournament he's played in this year. Won it last year.
Mm-hmm.
And not much to say about him. I mean, he's just, to me, not to me. He's the top. To me, he's top 2. I know world rankings. He's the 3rd best, but golfer in the world, very consistent, rarely blows up. And if his blow up is not astronomical, he could always find his way back in it. I think like last Masters, I believe he didn't start out the hottest, but then he just got hot.
He was great on Sunday. He caught Brooks Koepka.
He started killing it towards the end, which is obviously what you want to do. So it's plus 250, top 5. I mean,
dude, yeah, he's plus 125 to get top 10.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like
I'm gonna jinx it.
Gotta be.
That feels like free money to me.
I may just throw some on after this.
But obviously in gambling. Oh no, sorry, plus 130 to finish top 10. Actually, so even more money. I read the wrong one. So I feel like that's a little bit of free money in my opinion. But no, I like Jon Rahm. Plus 250 is good odds to finish.
Yeah, I know.
Top 5 coming off the Masters, top 3 in the world. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say top 10. I would just hammer that, but I think he's just so consistent and doesn't blow up as much that it's hard not to see him in the top 5.
I love it. It's a good odds.
And he's got a little chip on his shoulder. He was talking to the media about he thinks a live golfer is going to win this year, so he's got that to play for. There's a
couple good live golfers. Obviously Brooks. You got Jon Rahm, Cameron Smith, DeChambeau, Dustin Johnson. Who's the fit? There's Joaquin Niemann. I'm butchering that name. He's been really good at live, and that's about it probably for guys that can win it. But I'm gonna be honest. I'm not a fan of live. I know you're a little more indifferent than I am.
I really don't.
But it adds a little bit of an element when it comes to the majors because it's kind of like a little bit of in rivalry.
A little rivalry going on.
Yeah. A little bit like conference play, kind of like, or a conference versus conference in March Madness, for example. I don't know. So it adds a little element. Like if you're telling me if Jordan Spieth and Rory McIlroy and all those guys are not in the contention at the end, and it's Scheffler versus Brooks Koepka, you tell me they're not rooting for Scotty Scheffler? They're 100% rooting for Scotty Scheffler. So I find that kind of cool. Last year,
It's better for their brand. Like, this is who I play for. We have the winner of the
and I would gonna be honest with you, Liv needs this way more than
PGA.
The Tour does. The Liv needs it a little more than the PGA Tour in the sense of this, because they're still being put down, and I understand it. But so yeah, okay. Before we get a Liv PGA Tour conversation, we could do that in another episode. My top, yeah, we're good. Maybe if we get a golf expert to come on and talk about, we can ask him questions about it. Okay, so for me, a guy who has, I feel like, been finished second or third in so many different majors and so many different PGA Tour events, and that is Xander Schauffele. This guy has been on the cusp of winning tournaments, winning majors, hasn't been able to win that major yet. He's coming in at plus 375 to finish top 5. He's coming at plus 180 to finish top 10. I don't have a ton of stats on him, but I got 2 big ones. He has 3 top 5 finishes in his last 4 starts. So not
Masters?
No, I'll get there in a second.
No, sorry.
3 top 5 finishes in his last 4 starts on the PGA Tour. So the last 4 tournaments he's played on the PGA Tour heading into the Masters, he has finished top 5 3 times. And then in his last 5 Masters, he has 2 top 3 finishes. So he's been top 3 2 out of the last 5 times in the Masters. He's been right there. I'm not saying he gets over the hump this year, but he's been a guy that finishes top 5 consistently. So he keeps adding to his bank account in some nice ways there for Xander Schauffele. And he's been right there a couple times in the last 5 Masters. So sitting at plus 375, I like these odds, and I think he'll have another good week.
Yeah, no, he's super consistent. He put in the basketball terms, he's kind of like James Harden, never got the ring, but he's always been there. I just had to throw that out there. Just thought of it on the spot. But yeah, no, I like Schauffele a lot. He was one that I was debating going top 5 as well. So I like that pick a lot.
Okay. Without wasting any time, the reason you are here and the reason that you guys watched the last 4 episodes, we got 2 of them right last year. Let's try to beat this. It's gonna be really freaking hard to beat that. But let's see if we can beat it this year. We started. I think you got the Masters right last year, or did I get the Masters?
I don't know if I got the Masters
split. Right. I got one of them right, and you got the other one right. I don't know which one of us got the Masters right, and the other one got, I think it was a U.S. Open right.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I
picked Koepka to win the Open.
I got Rahm last year to win the Masters, and you got Koepka to win the U.S. Open.
Yeah.
Okay. This year, we're not going Koepka. We're not going Rahm. I don't love our chances looking at both. I don't love our chances at all.
Look at the odd difference. After Scheffler, it goes 400, then plus 1,000.
Yes. So what Jared's alluding to right now, Scheffler's at plus 475 to win. The next closest is Rory McIlroy at plus 1,100 and Jon Rahm at plus 1,200, and then Koepka at plus 1,400. So you have to go into the hundreds or the thousands, to get to a guy outside of Scottie Scheffler. So Scottie Scheffler is huge favorites this week. So Jared, who puts on the green jacket for you, man?
Yeah, so I was trying to look at like value too.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Because obviously I'm not going to pick Scheffler. There's no value in that. Neither do I think he's going to win this year, because my guy is Hideki Matsuyama. He finished 16th last year. He's currently at plus 1,800. And, when you're looking for, a Masters win, you kind of want to see their last tournaments, leading in. Usually, it doesn't need to be like winning every single tournament, but consistently, just a consistent, position in each one. And Hideki has done that. He finished first in Genesis Invitational, 12th in the Arnold Palmer Invitational, 6th in the Players Championship, and then just recently, the Texas Open, he finished 7th. So he's the guy who's been super consistent, finishing, top 10, top 1, top 5.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he finished 16th last year. So that also, I like looking at that, showing how does he perform on this course. And he did all right. He I mean, I'd say 16 is really good. But looking at the top, it's all right. So, and I feel like there's always someone in there who's not, a heavy favorite, always battling for, the potential Masters win. So this year he's my guy. Because a lot of the times it's someone that no one really thought about as much, or someone under the radar. And I think he's kind of under the radar, playing really good golf. So at plus 1800, I think he's a great pick. I'll be cheering for him.
Of course, you'll be cheering for him. You want to be right. I like that pick. What are the odds? What is it? Plus
1800.
Plus 1800. Plus 375. Plus 550 to finish top 5, and plus 200 to finish top 10. I like it. I feel like we're both gonna not be right this year. I just have that feeling, and that sucks. Okay.
I have a strange feeling about Matsuyama.
Okay, I like it. It makes for good content if we're right in one of these things. All we need to be right in one. We need to go 1 for 6 here to get a video out for social media for some good content. Okay. If you guys are still watching, like, comment, subscribe to the YouTube channel, Apple Podcasts.
They left after my pick.
And Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Subscribe, read a review, do all that stuff on the podcast version as well. We really appreciate that. Okay. A guy that I think I picked maybe 1 or 2 times last year, did not win a major last year. I didn't pick him to win the Masters last year, but picked him down the road, I think, in some of the other episodes we did, and that is Rory McIlroy, a guy that is still looking for his career Grand Slam. He's won the U.S. Open, he's won the PGA Championship, and he's won the Open Championship. He hasn't gotten that green jacket. Tiger Woods spoke about him today, saying he's too talented of a golfer to not win them, or basically asking, do you think Rory McIlroy is ever going to win the Masters? And Tiger Woods, he's too talented to not ever win the Masters. Didn't say he's going to win this year, but he thinks eventually he's going to win the Masters. You know what? I'll take Tiger Woods' word for that. So I'm going Rory McIlroy. He's sitting at plus 1100 right now to win, plus 250 to come in top 5, and plus 125 to come in the top 10, right? So he's been looking for that career Grand Slam, trying to get to that 4th, to win all 4 majors. And it's been up and down. He hasn't won a major in a while. Had won a couple PGA Tour events last year, so kind of got back into his stride after a while. His approach shots. I was reading about that. I read a couple articles. His approach shots, his short game has been great at the Players and the Valero Open. Gained over 11.5 strokes combined in both of that. So he's gaining strokes, making it easier on himself. He's the most recent tournament he's played at, Valero Open, came in 3rd place, shot a minus 11. So the most recent tournament he's played at, finished 3rd. He's coming hot. He's coming and playing really good golf. He has 7 top 10 finishes in his last 10 Masters. So if you don't think he's going to win, he's been consistent in the top 10. So 7 out of the last 10 Masters he's participated in, he's come in the top 10. He's been playing really good golf lately. Like I said, 3rd place in the Valero Texas Open, and that career Grand Slam is still waiting for him. I think he gets it done this weekend. I think it's a very cool story, and he's sitting at plus 1100 odds, which is right now the 2nd best odds to win the Masters.
Yeah, he's due. I mean, we'll see. We'll see if it's what Tiger says is meaning
Tiger's always right.
Future or farther down the line future. But no, I like that pick. Yeah, I mean, the way you've said it, he's been playing with a lot of good golf. We know he could, crank the long balls, but the short game's important, and he's been playing really well at that. So that's good to know coming into the Masters.
Yeah. Hopefully everyone enjoys this episode, enjoys the Masters upcoming this week. We have a lot of content coming for you guys. So if you guys liked any of our top 10 picks, any of our top 5 picks, any of our winners, let us know down in the comment section. Who do you guys have winning the Masters? And maybe tell us why. We got a lot of stuff coming up. NBA season wrapping up. We probably have to drop an NBA playoff video. Just realized that as soon as I was talking. NFL draft is coming up end of the month. We'll do our full first round mock draft like we've done the last couple years. It's always a blast doing that. Jared and I put on our GM hats and get to work with that. and a lot of other golf content coming out through the rest of the spring and into the summer. Jared, who are we sponsored by, and where can everyone follow us on social media?
Yeah, guys, we are sponsored by Underdog Fantasy. So use code TSP. Sorry, I don't got the banner, but use code TSP and get a 100% deposit match. Like Pete said, there's a ton of Masters plays going on this weekend. So, create an account, use code TSP, and just throw a bunch of money in there and double it for the 100% deposit match. So yeah, use pro TSP on Underdog Fantasy, and then please throw us a follow on Instagram, X, and TikTok. We'll be tweeting, like Pete said, NFL drafts coming, NBA playoffs is coming, so we'll have a lot of content on X, Instagram, and TikTok. So please follow us for all that. Yeah, thank you for watching.
Yeah, guys, if you just come for the golf content, we appreciate it. We got 3 more golf episodes coming throughout the spring and into the summer. Masters, one of the best times of the week. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. Hopefully you guys get to watch it into the weekend, especially on Sunday, post 3 o'clock on Sunday into 7 o'clock. It's the prime hours to watch the Masters. Hopefully you guys get to watch that. Hope you guys get to enjoy it. Like, comment, and subscribe. We'll be back with some NBA content and some NFL content, so don't go anywhere. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode, and thank you.